Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Yo, let's get to it. All right. So there's been one big thing on my mind, and I've really wanted to talk about. Okay. It's been something very pressing, something that's been on my heart, something that in many ways I haven't been able to let go, and it has me extremely worried, and it has me extremely bothered. The key thing that I'm wondering about, the key thing that I'm worrying about is this whole notion of being alone. All right. You got to imagine whenever you move from an entirely different place, an entirely new continent, imagine moving to a new continent and then not knowing anybody. Imagine moving to a new continent and then leaving your family completely behind. Imagine moving to a whole new continent and not seeing the people that you love, the people that you're familiar with. Just imagine all of the challenges and difficulties. It's about 99 degrees out here today. It's a
Elijah Hadi, back to Africa. Elijah, and Hadi, back home. Hadi, back to the roots run deep. Elijah Hadi, back to Africa. Elijah, and Hadi, back home now. Elijah Hadi.
beautiful, warm, hot day. Look at this, guys. Look at this. Look at the beautiful landscaping. Look at Africa. Look at Africa. Look at Mama Africa, guys. All right. But just think about the sadness that comes along with that. Think about the loneliness. Think about the fear. Think about the worry. Think about the confusion. Think about the wonder, right? Think about all those different things. And this morning I woke up and it finally hit me. I'm here in Africa alone. There's nobody here. I'm thousands of miles away from home. The place that I always knew. The place that I always loved. Just imagine waking up and coming to that realization that home isn't just an hour car ride away. Just imagine waking up and realizing that home, it's going to take you a minute to be able to get there. Just imagine coming to that realization, and it's hot, it's scorching out here today, right? Just imagine coming to that realization and realizing that there's nobody coming to save you, right? Something happens to me today, who's coming? Right? Something happens to me tomorrow, who's coming? Right? I mean, just imagine that. Just imagine the difficulty behind that. Imagine the fear behind that. Imagine knowing you're coming to a completely new continent, okay? And there's not one person here that you know. Just imagine that. But you got to remember, guys, when you live life by the horns, when you live life with the belief, with the mindset that you can and that you will, and that when you live life optimistically, when you live life positively, when you believe that you can do it, ultimately, you begin to develop a sense of belief that good things can happen. And ultimately, it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. But the loneliness is something that it's a real thing. Okay? It's not a lie. It's something that I feel each and every day. And it's so interesting because when I woke up today, I was reflecting on life and everything that kind of comes along with it. And I thought about my mom, right? And if you know my story about my mom, tragic passing. She passed about 4 years ago, all right? Very suddenly. It happened really, really quickly. And at that moment when my mom passed, it forced me to reflect upon life in a completely different way. And I was forced to ask myself, what type of life did I want to live? Because on my mom's last day, she wasn't worried about her job. She wasn't worried about emails. She wasn't worried about work calls. She wasn't worried about PowerPoints and presentations and Excel spreadsheets and Microsoft Word documents and, administrative this and administrative that. When it was my mom's final days, ultimately, she just wanted to live. She just wanted to breathe. She just wanted to be able to continue on one more day. During my mom's passing, I was working remote. All right, I was working remote. I was working in big tech. I was working for one of the largest technology companies in the world, robotic company at that, traveling all throughout the country. But I was working 100% from home. I was remote. During this period, I was able to, during this period, I was able to stick around with mom and be with her in the hospital area. Okay? From the initial diagnosis to her passing, we're talking about 60 days. The day that I found out, the day that we found out that she had cancer, we still ultimately believed that she was going to beat it. And the only thing that reminded us that she wasn't was when her organs and those different things began to fail her. And I'll never forget when Dr. Butler, shout out to Dr. Butler, who was a wonderful doctor, who was a sister as well, who was an older sister, who was an attending physician at that hospital, Jefferson Hospital, and did a wonderful job doing everything she could to save mom. I'll never forget, she brought me into the room and she said, Mr. Simpkins, what you've done is extremely honorable. We've never seen a patient be this devoted to a family member. I mean, for 60 days, I was there each and every day. Check my record. I remember one time I made mom's bed, right? This is when every time I would go to the hospital, I would make my mom's bed. Okay? And when I made her bed, I would never forget the nurses telling me, we've never seen a patient make their mama's bed. And I said, look, it'd be easy. It's easy for me to make my mom's bed each day. Because, and this is when she was laying in a coma. This is when she was laying in a coma. I said, it's easy for me to make my mom's bed each day because she would do the exact same thing for me if she was on the opposite side. So being here in Africa, it's forced me to think about those different things. It's forced me to reflect upon those experiences. This is, and I would definitely say that I've been able to grieve over the last 4 years or so, and I've let the tears kind of come out and things like that. But I say all that to say I don't feel alone. I don't feel alone. Although I'm here by myself, although I'm a complete stranger in a very, very distant land, I do not feel alone. I feel the spirit of my mother right with me. And it gives me goosebumps. And there's a little bit of nervousness that comes along with it. And I can hear her voice in my ear. I can hear it. I can hear it. I can hear it each and every day. And I think the other thing behind it is when you're the first one in your family, when you're the first one in your lineage to ever make it back to Africa, you got to remember, I know I'm not alone because the ancestors are with me. The ancestors are chanting me on, and I'm not somebody that's grand rising and, the spirits rising, blah, 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 blah. I'm not that way, guys. I live in the world, okay? I live in the fucking world, okay? But I don't feel alone because I know that the ancestors are with me. Imagine your family, your lineage being disconnected from their homeland for 300, 400, 500 years, and imagine you being the first one to make it back. Guys, if you can support this journey, if you could do anything for me, please like, share, subscribe, comment below. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you feel. Let me know what journey you're getting ready to partake on. And let me know most of all how you're feeling about it. Let me know. Right? If you like this video, it costs completely nothing to hit that thumbs up button, hit that like button. But it will help me so much. So when I think about my experience, when I think about my life, I do not feel alone at all. I feel like the ancestors are with me. To my viewers, to you all, to the people that are watching this video, to the people back at home, at the college, to my colleagues, all those different things. I don't feel alone because I know that you all are with me. I know that you all are watching these videos. I know that you all are, pushing me forward in this journey. All right? So each and every day when I think about those different things, each and every day when I think about the loneliness, when I think about the fear, when I think about the nervousness that comes along with being in a new place, being away from everything that I know, everyone that I love, and all those different things, that's what I think about right there. I think about you all, right? Because I know that ultimately you all are with me. And if you're not with me physically, you're with me in terms of your spirit. You're with me in terms of your energy. You're with me in terms of your mind. And for me, that just brings me great comfort. It really, really does. And I'm not here just for me. I'm here for you all, right? Because in so many different ways, it's not just me that's been disconnected from the continent and the motherland, it's also you. You've been disconnected and lied to about it as well. And when I talk about breaking negative stereotypes and the propaganda and all those different things, that's exactly what I'm talking about. I'm talking about doing it for you all. I'm talking about doing it for us. It's like when I graduated, I'll never forget telling Mom, we did it. We did it, Mom. Look, we did it. We got the degree. We did it. We did it. We did it. Because if you're going to be able to navigate through life and some of life's challenges and all those different things, you need people, ultimately. You need people that are willing to help. You need people to advocate for you. You need people to comfort you. You need people to challenge you. You need people to push you forward. You need people to do all those different things. And, I haven't done any part of this journey alone, right? When I think about some of my mentors, some of the most important people in my life, I think about Ocean. I think about Omar Muhammad. But so often in our lives, we believe that the people who don't have those titles, don't have those degrees, are unworthy of being listened to. And I've always listened to people. I'll never forget sitting on the floor of the Broad Street line listening to a homeless guy for 20 minutes. For 20 minutes. For 20 minutes. And I'll never forget the story that he told. One, about why he was homeless. Two, about the challenges that he faced. And three, about the abuse that he was under. Because I don't know if you noticed, but people abuse the homeless all the time. And I'll never forget it, and I'll never forget it, and I'll never forget it. And I'll never forget the one question that he asked me. And I'm going to pose this question to you right here. If I gave you $1 million tomorrow, would you sacrifice it? Would you give it up? Or would you take it? Right? That's the question right there. Would you take it? Right? Because if you were to take it, there's always going to be a caveat. There's always going to be some type of trade-off that kind of comes along with it. And a trade-off would be this. If you take it, your existence tomorrow no longer exists. You're no longer going to be here. Okay, that's the trade-off right there. And if your answer is, okay, well, I don't want it just based off of that, that shows you right there what each and every day of your life is actually worth. More than $1 million. So keep pushing forward always, regardless of if you face any feelings of loneliness, of newness, of fear, of worry, of frustration, or anything like that. Always believe that great things are on the other side of that confusion, that doubt, and that fear. I love you all. I'm out of here. Peace.